So this is a long time coming. That a few of you guys asked me to compare BF2, BF3, and the MXR micro flanger, and then also the CE2. That's only because I want to compare it to, because I have like a little thing about it that I want to talk about. But right here we have the made in Taiwan white knob BF2. Shout out to Mike Brennan, he got me this. I have the BF3. Right now I have the Numa settings for this, and I'm gonna show you guys how to make it sound like the BF2. And then I have the micro flanger up here with the Numa settings too. And then the CE2, that one I have it regular settings for what he uses for descending, Numa intro, and what's that, Invincible. So basically, BF2, that's what he started using. A lot of people have said that he was using the Ibanez flanger, the FL9, the yellow one. For Anima, which people say that that's the one that you hear on the album, but I'm not too sure on that, because if that's what it was, I'm just not sure why he never used it ever since. Like if it was that good, he could have just stayed with that instead of getting the BF2. So obviously it's the BF2 that's on the album. Try to move this a little bit more so you can see it. So I pulled out one of my delays, just so that I can place this pedal here on the chain. The BF2, let me start with that one. Settings, the manual is cranked, depth is cranked, rate is about 1 o'clock, and the res, it's turned all the way off. So this one is that Adam Jones sound that you hear in the whole Anima album. So this is the guitar clean, or not clean, but just without any anything. Now I'm going to play something off of Anima so you guys can see what it sounds like with the flanger and then without the flanger. So the flanger here, the BF2, that's what he uses to get the feedback along with the delay, the DD3, and the EQ. So this is what the BF2 sounds like. Also, my LED doesn't work anymore, but the effect does work. So this is the one you hear all throughout Anima. I don't think you hear it a lot on the. If anything, I only think you can hear it on only two songs in Lateralis, which is the Patient with the. and then also in Ticks and Leeches with the other than that, you don't really hear it in any other songs from that album. And then in 10,000 Days, it's only in the intro to Rosetta Stone. But that's the settings that I use. That's the settings he uses, and that's the BF2. Moving on, he later started using the micro flanger for a couple songs, Numa. And that one, I have the regen cranked, and then the rate, I have it turned all the way off. There's a picture of Instagram where he has it on 9 o'clock, but I like turning it all the way down. It sounds closer to the album. And that's just at the very end of Numa. And that's pretty much all I use that one for. Nothing else. Now the BF3, that one in the before the pandemic, those last run of shows before the shutdown happened, the lockdown, he swapped out the MXR micro flanger for the BF3, and the slide holder is just a mic flange, and then this little thing screwed onto the mic flange, and then that's where the slide goes. The BF3 got swapped. The micro flanger got swapped for the BF3 at the very end of those shows, and again he was only using that for Numa. Now the settings for that. So the knob right here, I have it to standard, the mode. So there's ultra, and then gate pan, and then standard, which is where it's at. Rate 9 o'clock, depth 11 o'clock. There's two knobs right here. Manual, down I have it at 1 o'clock, and then res is a little bit before 12 o'clock. And that's the settings that I'm using for Numa. So here it goes. So again, that's the only part of the song where the BF3 and the micro flanger is used. Um, Other than that, another thing that I want to touch is how to make the BF3 sound like the BF2. Now a lot of people have told me that they have used the same um, settings and it doesn't sound correct. You can kind of make it sound similar. So again, on standard here, the rate, let's crank that up a little bit, like about 1 o'clock. Depth, cranked. Manual, cranked. And then rest, shut that all the way down. But we can start with the rate at right in the middle. Okay, that's the best you're gonna get it to sound like it. It's not exact, but it's very very close. I would say just back up the rate a little bit. On this one, I have it on a little bit after like 1 o'clock. That's the same settings that I'm also using on my or that I used to use on my Made in Japan one, which I have right here. Same settings as that one, and they both sound really good. But the BF3, that's the closest you can make it sound like the, BF2. Just back it up a little bit because it sounds almost like a chorus cranked with the rate. And I'm pretty sure if you want it, you can also get the feedback. But that's the closest you can make it sound to the BF2. So again, standard mode, rate right in the middle, depth cranked, rest turn it all the way down, and then manual cranked. Basically the same as this, except with the rate, just back it up a little bit. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring the CE2 into this whole thing is because there has been some changes to his flanger settings on the BF2. So the res is turned a little bit up, like about 9 o'clock, and then the depth and manual are also kind of like that. And this is what that sounds like. That's the new settings. Those are the new settings that he's been using for the BF2. Now, the CE2 has been on his board ever since the 2019 tour, when the album came out. And the depth cranked, rate at about 9 o'clock. Now, my whole thing with this is that he is now using the BF2 as a traditional as a traditional flanger sound, and he's using now the chorus for the clean parts. So, for instance, the beginning of Descending on the older, before it became an official song, on the like when they started doing it since 2015 up until 2018 when they were doing the clinics, he was always using the BF2 for the intro. Now he uses the CE2 for the intro. Also, the intro of Numa. And also the intro to what's this song? Invincible. So that's my take on the CE2. I think he's just trying to use that now as what he used to use the BF2's old settings for. So back then, like, if once I get the original settings back, if there was a clean part to any song, he would use the BF2 for all the clean parts. So the whole or what else? Trying to think of something else that would use that. Just the clean parts to any song. He wouldn't just use the clean live. He would actually add the BF2, which now is, in my opinion, replaced by the CE2 because that's what he uses now. And then he's leaning on this more towards a traditional flanger. Let me do some anima like tones with this one, with the BF3 with the BF2 settings. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The settings, like I said, I'm gonna give you a closer look. These are the settings that I'm using for both of those. Those are the settings that I'm using for to make it sound like this one. Now, if you want to see the old settings to this, just rewind it to the beginning of the video because I forgot already. But I had the Numa settings, and I did go over them. And then those are the Numa settings for the BF3, and then those are the CE2 settings. But again, I hope you guys find this helpful. That's the comparison. If you guys have any other questions or if I did something wrong, just let me know in the comments and I'll go over it on another live video. Thank you guys for watching again, and I'll see you guys next time. If you guys want me to do another like pedal comparison or anything, maybe like a DOD versus GE7, something like that. I don't know, but yeah. All right, I'll see you guys later.